Game Honey, the best podcast about video games on the internet. Maybe even the best podcast on the internet, period. It starts off with me fucking up the intro, so you know it's a good podcast. Well, anyway, welcome to the podcast. I am your host for today, Tayo Inc., and I am joined today, as always, by my lovely co-host, Polar.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing well. We had an extended vacation. I had some relatives over. I showed them around the Kansai area in Japan. We had a grand old time.
Would you say a gay old time?
I most certainly would. It took my mind off of God of War for 2 weeks, so that's good.
I didn't know you were this obsessed with Dad of War. Has it been
I
that
wasn't.
on your radar?
No. I was looking forward to it. Are we gonna get straight into it?
Yeah. Well,
I guess we are.
Yeah. Well, just to quickly state, you can find us on Twitter at GameHoneyGame. You can find Polar on Twitter at KumaGumaPolar, and you can find me on Twitter at Tayo Inc. So, Dad of War. Apparently, it's okay.
Yeah, it seems to be.
It seems to be.
Yeah, I think I've been successful in not getting overhyped about this. I was trying to think of the last trailer that I actually watched, because I've been on a blackout for a while now. I think the last trailer I watched was the one with ending with the snake. Or is that a really long time ago?
I think that's a really, yeah. I think it's an older one, but I think that's also the last one I watched. I
probably watched the one after that, but yeah, I'm really just trying to avoid pretty much all pre-release materials.
I've actually every God of War up till now.
No, not yeah. I played the main ones. I played 1, 2, and 3. I skipped Ascension because at that point I have to admit I was a little bit burnt out on the franchise. I really loved 3, but when I heard that Ascension was not as good, was not a continuation of the story, I decided that I could probably skip it. So that's what I did. I didn't play the portable ones, any of them.
I heard those were
the main
Ghost
games
of
I did
Sparta,
play.
I think it is. That one's pretty good.
I think both of them were pretty good. I think one especially was better than the other. It might have been Ghost of Sparta. But yeah, I didn't bother with them. I didn't have a portable system. I think our dearly departed co-host Grizzly actually gave me the PS3 versions, but I obviously am not turning my PS3 on again, also because it's dead. So
that puts a damper on things.
It's, just the mainline games I have played, and I have loved all 3 of them. So, seeing the reception and seeing some of the insane praise that it's been getting, like I've seen reviews out there saying that it's a reinvention of the series similar to Resident Evil and Zelda. That's pretty high praise.
Yeah.
But I like that I don't know what to expect, because I have seen so little. So I guess my expectations are still relatively not low, but at least in check. I'm just looking forward to it.
Yeah, I actually have been very interested in this God of War as well, but as you may remember, I'm not a big fan of the original series.
You didn't play 3 that long ago, right?
I played it last year, I think.
Yeah.
I actually got it from you guys. And while I did enjoy a lot of it, I felt it got really old really fast. It just feels like a lot of button mashing, and sometimes I can get into it. I don't know why. I would have to listen back to the episodes we did right after I played it, but I don't know. I just wasn't really all that impressed, I guess, with the combat of 3.
I think at that point, especially the set pieces, were really impressive back in the day. But you played this game in a post Uncharted world.
Yeah, I'm sure
where they might not have seemed as impressive
either
as they were back in the day.
Yeah, no, I'm sure that didn't help either. But I really, when they first announced it, I was really interested because this kind of game is way more like my style, I guess, more combat wise and not the zoomed out force perspective. And that was, I think, if I remember correctly, like everything in God of War 3 was tiny. Can't really see what's going on. And
yeah, it could get really tiny.
Yeah. And then I didn't really read the review, but I was kind of skipping through the review on one of, I don't remember which site it was. And they mentioned something like that it's an open world. And I'm not 100%.
Oh, don't tell me.
Yeah, sorry, but little spoilers. It seems like there's a lot of content.
Me going dark, just everything undone in a matter of minutes.
Sorry. But I mean, it's just what I'm trying to get across is that I don't really know a lot about the game, and the little details that I have heard make it just seem like nothing that I was expecting. Mm-hmm. Like it's apparently a pretty long game with lots of
previous games weren't short.
No. I'm trying not to. I don't know. I barely know anything about the game, but I don't want to ruin your experience going in either.
Don't.
I'm trying not to. I'm trying to be political here.
No, but to summarize your point, yeah, from everything I've seen out of the reviews, it really does seem to be taking a novel, different approach, really reinventing the franchise. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I don't know what else I can say, but this approach, not really knowing anything, might not make for the most enjoyable listening experience if you're listening to this podcast. But it's really worked wonders for me also with Skyward Sword. I didn't really tune into that many, not Skyward Sword.
I was gonna say,
if anything, that's the game that drove me to take this approach, because I allowed myself to get way overhyped about that game and because of the 10 out of 10s that it was getting. So with what I did with Breath of the Wild is I didn't watch that many streams. I watched a couple trailers, but that was pretty much it. So I didn't really know what I was getting into, and I really, really enjoyed that about my experience. So I'm trying to mimic that with God of War as well. So
launch day, gonna get it?
I probably will be getting it at launch day. But
part of the problem.
It will probably be censored here in Japan, right?
I'm not sure, but I think probably, yeah. Games like these usually are censored here.
I'm still a physical boy in a material world, so I might be saving it for when I go back to the Netherlands, probably later this month or next month. Or I might just get a digital copy, depending on whether I can wait or not. I don't know. It's interesting times.
It's coming out in a few days, as of the time of recording. So yeah.
Oh, it's real close.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Oh boy, are you getting it digital?
Well, so that's, I guess, one of the benefits of having a wife that's a full-time streamer. She is getting it digital on the day. Yeah. So yeah, it'll be on my PlayStation as well.
Is she getting it from Sony, or is she just buying a copy?
No. She's buying it.
Okay.
No, it's that doesn't happen all that often.
I see.
Happens sometimes, but not all that often. Still. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty hype, but trying not to be hype.
It's gonna be a good time
for the new God of War.
It's gonna be a good time,
and it's apparently really good looking. Maybe even good looking to the point where you'd think it's on a new console like the PS5. Maybe.
You have a scoop?
Yeah, the scoop is that there's no PS5 yet. So that's the hot scoop. There were some rumors going around on the internet on some of the bigger sites like Kotaku that the PS5 might have been on the way, that there were already dev kits going out. But then I read up on it a little bit, and it seems that from quotes from industry insiders that's probably not the case. It seems that There are no dev kits yet, and if they are shipping out dev kits, or if they are working on PS5s, I should say, and third-party companies know about it, then the lower-level employees definitely don't know about it at this point. So even if the PS5 is in development, it's nowhere near in the near future that it's going to be happening. So that's
totally fine with me.
Scoop. Yeah, that was totally fine with me too. I think the PS4 still has quite a bit of life in it left. I think.
Yeah, considering I haven't watched Digital Foundry analysis yet, but the only thing that I did see is that it's apparently another amazing technical achievement for the PS4, and one of the best looking games out there.
Oh, for Dad of War, you mean?
Yeah. What did I say?
No, you didn't say a title, so I assumed you.
I didn't say anything. Yeah. No, but with God of War, with games like Horizon, the PS4 doesn't really feel long in the tooth yet for me. I'm perfectly fine with riding this train out for a couple more years. But that's apparently what we're looking at, right? Not 2019, maybe 2020.
Yeah, or beyond, is because it's not yet, as it's not yet being developed for. It would be quite a stretch to start pumping out games next year or the year after. That would be quite the challenge.
After. I mean, cross-gen games I could see happening. Like they announced it at E3 2019, release it somewhere 2020.
It could happen. And depending on what the market does with if Microsoft not Nintendo, they obviously just put out the Switch, but if Microsoft were to make a move on a new Xbox, maybe they would push up some of the dates that they have in mind. But as of now, it doesn't seem like you will have to trade in your PS4 just quite yet.
I wonder if Microsoft is just gonna follow Sony on this. And not just go completely iterative, like just release a new version of the Xbox One X.
I mean, I am glad in a sense that there is talk of a PS5. I don't need one yet, but not too long ago we were talking on this very podcast about the rumors of iterative, like smartphones rather than traditional consoles.
Yeah, one doesn't rule out the other, though. I think.
No, fair enough.
What could a PS5 be? Like it'll probably have to be a significant leap over the PS4 Pro, but it might just as well be an extension.
Right. Yeah.
They're probably not gonna go for radically different architecture, so you're gonna see a lot of cross-gen games. I wonder if you're gonna see backwards compatibility as well. Would seem likely to me.
Yeah, I think it hasn't really. Been all that. I think it's been pretty good for Microsoft. They've been going on the backwards compatibility bandwagon for a while now, and it seems that people are really happy with it.
So you gotta have something to play.
Oh snap! Yeah, they don't get Dad of War on over on Xbox.
There's been I've seen a narrative about God of War and about similar. First party games, and how Nintendo and Sony's approach is different to Microsoft's approach, where Nintendo and Sony allow developers to start over. Like for example, Sony allowed Ueda to work on The Last Guardian for 10 years, and it still came out in the end. Whereas you've had several projects. For Microsoft, for example, Scalebound with Platinum Games one that was cancelled after what seems like a relatively short period of time.
Yeah,
there seems to be a narrative out there that Microsoft doesn't allow its developers as much leeway as the other companies do, which I could definitely see being true to a certain extent, because their first party lineup just seems so. I hate having to say it like every other week on the episode, but it seems so barren.
Yeah. Yeah. Ever since Grizzly left, we have lost our resident Xbox defender. But yeah, it is just the loser of this console. Well, unless you count the Wii U, obviously, but of the big ones, yeah, it's not doing so hot.
Only a loser in relative terms, because it's selling well. It's selling well, but it lost a lot of ground compared to the last generation.
Yeah,
a lot
if you
of
compare it
goodwill
to the
as well.
360, it's not good. Bill Gates, get your shit together.
I was listening to the Player One podcast the other day, and they asked the question, what could Microsoft announce at E3 that would really... What do you want Microsoft to announce at E3 from their first-party stable?
Mm-hmm.
I personally couldn't really think of anything, because there's not that much there, isn't there?
Halo!
They could pull out Halo, Gears of War. Yeah, I don't know, maybe buying other studios or commissioning other studios to develop a game for them, like Sony did with Bloodborne. Seems like one way they could go.
Yeah.
But I don't see it getting solved in the short term.
Well, there's one or two games that are coming to Xbox One, namely Shenmue, the critical darling, the fan favorite game. Shenmue is coming, is being remastered and coming to.
And the other one is Shenmue 2.
And the other one is Shenmue 2. Yes, sorry, 1 and 2 will be coming to PS4, Xbox One, and PC. So if you have an Xbox One, you'll have something to play at least.
Well, they have things. They have things to play.
No,
just
they don't.
Not the exclusives.
No, they have nothing to play on there. It's just barren. It's just Solitaire and now Shenmue 1 and 2. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, Shenmue. Did you ever play it?
No. And you know this. No, I've never played it. Yeah, I might get into it. I like, my first reaction was, oh yeah, now I finally get to play it. But then I sort of realized that it's probably a more primitive version of Yakuza. So I don't know if I'm really looking forward to this. It depends on the extent to which they are remastered. But they're not calling them remakes. So if it's just a graphical update, yeah, I'll have to see. I'm not, I don't know, brimming with excitement, but it's it's good that they're coming, and it's a logical step, considering that the new game is probably coming out
maybe
this year
with terrible facial
sometime in the future. Yeah.
I hope that the terrible facial animations will also be part of the 1 and 2 remakes to tie it all together quite neatly.
I don't know if that was a thing back in the day, but they look pretty natural if stilted, from what I know of those games.
Yeah, I know so little about Shenmue, except for the fact that like it was kind of billed at the time as you could do whatever. You can just walk around and play games within the game or follow the story. I guess Yakuza would be
that is totally Yakuza, yeah.
Yeah. But back before Yakuza was around, I had no concept of what this game was supposed to be. So yeah,
you can try and save your adopted daughter, or you can gamble on some cockfights or play some mahjong.
Sounds like a good time. Yeah, I'm not particularly interested. I've always heard that Shenmue, while being like a classic, it's also very much a love it or hate it kind of thing.
Yeah, don't forget the cult part of that. It's very much a cult classic.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to pick it up. I still have the Yakuza 1 HD remake that came out not too long ago.
Ooh.
And I do want to get into that, but I think Yakuza should hold me over for quite a bit before I head over to Shenmue.
Yeah.
So,
well, after that you have 2 through what, 6?
6 and the spin-offs.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll those will keep me busy for a while.
Yeah, Yakuza will have you covered for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if they'll do HD remakes of all the games, because they just released the HD remake for 2, I think.
What?
For Yakuza.
Oh, sorry.
Kiwami.
We were talking about. Well, 3 is already HD, so I don't see that happening for a while.
Okay, well, we'll see, and we'll let you know right here on the Game Honey Podcast, of course. Talking about new games, hey, there's also a new Battle Royale game, because that's the hype now. Have you ever played a Battle Royale game? Yes, you did.
You keep asking me every week.
Yes.
Yeah, and the answer is yes. I did play
I know it.
30 minutes of PUBG.
Yes, I asked it, and I already knew the answer. It's so there's a new game coming, and that's not that surprising. There's of course a whole wave of these Battle Royale games ever since Fortnite and PUBG hit it big. But the new one that's coming, Radical Heights, is significant in the sense that it's from
Radical
Bosky, which is a studio which contains the Cliffy B.
The studio that contains Cliffy B.
It contains him barely.
Don't know if they're necessarily doing a good job at containing him.
So the controversy, I guess, is a controversy kind of surrounding this game right now, is that
we can make it one.
We can make it one. Hashtag Radical Heights controversy. The studio Bosky last year released the game, what was it called? Lawbreakers, which was a hero shooter.
Yeah.
Which, if you may remember, hero shooters were the shit about a year ago. And Lawbreakers didn't do so well. And now Battle Royale games are the shit.
Completely.
Yeah.
Terribly.
Yeah. And now a different genre is the shit. So instead of doing the hero shooter, they're letting that go. And in the span of a week, they announced it. And then in a week later, I think they had an early access version, which is playable. But from what I saw and heard about it, that's basically all you can say about it. It's just very cheap, thrown together. It works, but that's about it. It's just a very bare bones version of a Battle Royale game. So yeah, this kind of just reeks of desperation and wanting to cash in. Cynical person might say that, this that Bosky is just doing it for the money. Would you be one of those cynical people?
I mean, I can see your point, and I definitely think it's true to a certain extent, but I'm willing to cut him a little bit more slack, because for everything I've heard about Lawbreakers, it was a very polished game, and apparently it was genuinely a good game.
Yeah, I heard it was pretty good.
Just seemed to be the case that nobody was interested. And what I saw a lot on message boards is people just gleefully watching the player count decline over the weeks until it pretty much, I think it hit 0 or 1 player online. I don't know. I thought it was really sad to see for a game that had a lot of effort and polish put into it, and just totally failed to catch on. So yeah, I definitely think that in a sense you could say this is a desperate move, because I don't think they really recoup that initial Lawbreakers investment, not by a long shot.
Yeah.
So yeah, they had to do something, and this is it. Apparently, I read that they profited a little bit off of the fact that Fortnite servers were down for a while. So that shifted some attention to their game.
Oh, you mean Radical Heights or Lawbreakers?
Radical Heights, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
No, not Lawbreakers. That's done. That's pretty much done. I think they actually announced that they won't be supporting it anymore in the near future.
Yeah,
It's a pity, all things considered. So no, I could definitely see why they would move to the battle royale genre. It's, in a sense, it's a little cynical, but you gotta keep the lights on. And if you look at it from a business perspective, I don't think that Bosky could afford. I think they have a very small team. I don't think they could afford another Lawbreakers type scenario. I don't think they could afford to go into another 2-3 year development cycle, and with the risk that the game would just fail to catch on. So I think it's, if anything, I think it's a pretty logical choice for them to go with the early access model, the extreme early access model, even that they're calling this.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you do bring up a good point. I hadn't really thought about it like that. Yeah, that's fair. The recouping some of the investment. It is a company after all. But yeah, it's just too bad. Like in an ideal world, and I get that it doesn't really work like that, but in an ideal world, you'd have, even if a previous project failed, you'd hope that the team would get some ideas and would do something that they really love to do, and that they came up with themselves and just worked on and polished. And this just doesn't feel like it's it. It just really feels like, oh, this is popular right now, so, and early access is a thing, so we can just make money on it right now, not maybe later. Right now we make money on it, so let's do it right now. And yeah.
It is free to play though.
Is it?
It's free to play. You can buy, I think, a starter pack for $15 or so. But yeah, it is free to play.
Okay, that's a good thing then. I softened my stance yet a little bit more. I didn't know it was free to play.
Yeah, I did hear that it was super bare bones, but
yeah,
I can kind of see what they're going for. Yeah, no, I agree with you though. I watched the trailer. I thought it looked absolutely terrible. I think that the style of it has some potential. The sort of 80s game show.
Yeah, but
type of vibe that they're going for.
But it doesn't really look like that at the moment.
No,
That's
it looks super janky.
Yeah, it.
But apparently the
polish.
guns feel good. There's some merit to the game.
Yeah, it
I don't
works.
know. I kind of look forward to seeing where they're taking this, and if this ends up being successful for them. I'm kind of rooting for them, because I really think that the internet kind of did Lawbreakers dirty. I don't have any particular love for Cliffy B. I know that his statements catch a lot of flack online, which sometimes is justified, but just the way that people savaged his latest game, I think, was really unfair, considering that for all intents and purposes it was a quality game.
Yeah. No, yeah, I mean, I hope that they make a good game and that it'll be fun to play and that it does well. It's just the timing, and it does make you wonder, like, if this doesn't work and next year's trend, will they just abandon this game and go to the next trend? It's not for consumer trust. It's maybe not a great look, but yeah, maybe that's just me.
I don't know. Seriously, I don't know if they had any alternatives. I
No,
think
yeah, fair
this
enough,
is what
but-
made the most business sense for them. Now that the market, I don't know to what extent you can say that the market is already saturated. I think it's going to be really hard to capture some of that Fortnite audience. But if you're gonna try, you might as well do it right now.
Fair enough. All right, well, Cliffy, hang in there. Do your best. We're rooting for you.
Hang in there, buddy.
Hang in there, buddy. Cliffy, buddy. Game Honey is rooting for you. So yeah, that's about the news that we have for this time. So I'd say we do some Whatchabeenplayin.
I like that you didn't say week.
No, we had a week off. So for this 2-week period.
For this time.
So
for this periodic podcast.
Hey, I already know the answer, but what have you been playing?
Yeah, I didn't play anything.
Oh man, are you a gamer or what, yo?
Whoa! No, I had as I said, I had family over. I really didn't have time to spend some quality time with my video games.
Well, I sort of made
Didn't
up
happen.
for it. I've been really busy, but I've kind of been able to take some time, some extra time lately to play some more games, and I've been really getting into Ni no Kuni 2, which is a really lovely game. I'm
All right.
pretty close to the end, I think. It's not a perfect game. There's definitely some things that I'd like to change. There is sort of strategy to some of the combat, and definitely if you're fighting a higher level enemy, there's definitely a level of strategy that's involved, but a lot of it is still a lot of button mashing, I feel. So there a little bit more strategy would have been nice in the battle system, but I personally really like the kingdom management stuff and recruiting new citizens to your kingdom and upgrading it, and the visuals are
Is that kind of
great.
like a base building mechanic?
Yeah, a little bit. I've heard it compared to Suikoden, and I've not played Suikoden, but I've seen it being played, and I can kind of from that experience can kind of see the resemblance where you go about and recruit more and more people to come live with you, and everyone has like special skills, and you have to kind of manage who goes where and who does
Hmm.
what. It's a world that has all sorts of. One of the things that it's a minor gripe, but like every kingdom that you visit has a different species, like main species. Like one is dogs and one's cats, and then there's mer people and stuff. And you tend to get one new teammate like every world. So you think like, oh yeah, you get some different species, and you get like cool merman on your team or a cool dog person. But in the end, all the playable characters are just boring human. So that kind of
Huh.
feels a little not too inspired. Seems like a kind of a weird choice to me. But other than that, just the visuals are gorgeous, and the story, while not super complicated, it's pretty straightforward. Well, the cat just dumped a whole box right off the table. The story is not very deep or complicated, but it's fun, and there are some interesting themes that they talk about. So yeah, overall, I'm very down with Ni no Kuni 2. I think I'm not 100% sure, but I think it has 7 or 8 chapters, and I'm in chapter 6 right now, so I'm pretty close to the end. Yeah, I'll let you know when I finish
How
it.
long have you been playing?
I'm at like 25 hours, I think, give or take.
Okay, so it's
I've
not.
had a couple
I
of
think Adam
days.
mentioned that it's not super long.
No, I think most people are like, if you skip all the side stuff, you can probably do it in like 25 hours. But I've been kind of collecting
Hmm.
civilians and whatnot to live in my kingdom.
Collecting civilians.
Collecting civilians. So yeah, so far so good. The other game that I played is Ghost of a Tale, which is the game that Adam mentioned when he was on. The sneaky mouse game.
Ah, yeah.
And it's also really good. It's very charming. You are an adorable mouse, and you have all sorts of different costumes. You can dress up your mouse as a pirate. So that alone, I would say, is worth the price of admission. But besides that, there's also lots of interesting characters in the world. The writing is really good and funny. There are some. The story itself is pretty interesting. But my big gripe with the game, I would say, is that everything is brown. Everything is brown. So it's
My
sometimes
favorite color.
really hard to know where you are, where you're going, or just overlook things. There's a couple of times that there was you can see like a key hanging right next to the door, but the key is basically the same color as the background, almost. Like everything is just the same drab color. So it's really hard to miss items like that, or sometimes even miss like entrances to tunnels or hallways or something. It's that's the only thing. So I've had like 2 or 3 times now where I've just been walking around not knowing where to go and just backtracking a whole lot. So that's unfortunate, but aside from that, I really like the style and the art direction, and yeah, it's an extremely charming game, if nothing else. So if you like cute things, and I know that you do, you might want to give it a
I certainly
look-see.
do.
Yeah.
All right. How much is it?
It's I think $20 on Steam. It's not that much. It's and it's
You're playing it on PC?
Yeah. It's I think it's coming out on some of the consoles as well, but at the moment I believe it's only out on Steam or on PC.
All right.
And yeah, it's like a 10 to 15 hour game, I think, depending on how much you get lost, I suppose. But
Lost in the brown muck.
yes. But overall, I'd say it's definitely worth $20. So yeah, that's my
Cool.
my preliminary thoughts on Ni no Kuni 2 and Ghost of a Tale.
Nice. Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing some games this week.
Yeah, next time we'll hear your preliminary review, or maybe your full review on Dad of War.
So that's the good thing about sort of not really keeping up to date with all the reviews and all the coverage that the games are getting. I kind of forgot that it was already coming out in 4 days?
It's 4 days, I think. Yeah,
that's pretty sweet. Yeah, definitely looking forward to that. In the meantime, I will be playing some. I will be getting back into Bloodborne.
Oh yeah. You haven't really played since the last time then, at all?
No, I think last time we spoke, I mentioned that I beat the Shadows of.
Oh
Yarnum,
yeah, the ring wraiths.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And like the first time I fought them, I had a relatively easy time. Then the next time they completely kicked my ass. But yeah, I got past those in both of my games.
Did you get Neo? I'm not sure if I
did not. No. We talked about it before, but I like you. I played the beta before the game was released. I really liked it, so I will definitely be getting Neo somewhere down the line. It got a gold edition or whatever they called it.
Yeah.
Last year, right?
Yeah,
I'll be picking that up somewhere down the line.
The DLC really does add a lot, like items as well and new skills and stuff. So it's apparently worth price of admission.
Cool.
I've been kind of wanting to get back into a Soulsborne game and torture myself now that I keep hearing you talk about it. So might have to torture
Regardless
myself again.
of just how much you hated your experience with Bloodborne.
I mean, yeah. It's
you didn't pick up Neo.
I did. You did. We have Neo. Yeah.
I'm sure we talked about it.
Gab played it all the way through on her channel, and I played the first 3 stages or something. I'm not exactly
I remember
sure.
that you put that on your games of the year list.
Yeah,
not last year, but the year before that.
Yeah, the beta.
But you put the demo, the beta on your list, and then you played 3 hours. Come on!
That's not 3 hours. That's longer than that.
Think of our integrity.
I don't have any.
You're taking me down with you.
Yes. No.
Hey, did you play any more Sea of Thieves? I just
did not
completely.
Yeah, I saw that Eurogamer put up a video just the other day talking about if Sea of Thieves is the new No Man's Sky, and Eurogamer was very adamant that it was not.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't read it yet, but there was an article up about some of the new stuff that they're gonna introduce, and I'm not exactly sure what's in that, but while I don't think it's a new No Man's Sky, I can definitely, at the moment in the current state and when No Man's Sky got released, at that time I can definitely see the comparison of, like, you can do whatever you want and make your own stories, but then when you go in, there's not that much of the game itself. And I think the big difference between the two games...
In this game, you can at least meet other players.
Yeah, I think that's the big difference between those two games, is that that Sea of Thieves allows you to kind of have fun together, and there are a lot of systems in the game that allow you to have fun together. Whereas with No Man's Sky, there was a lot of stuff, but you can do all that much with it.
Yeah.
So as games themselves, they're definitely very limited at the moment, even though they're really big and wide and open and have a lot of stuff in them purportedly. They're still kind of boring. But yeah, at least with Sea of Thieves, when I played that, I played it with someone else, and that was a lot of fun, just the playing together part. So I'm very curious to see what they'll be adding in the future, and see if that kind of improves the experience. I already went there. I built a cottage there, and I'm enjoying my time off.
And I'm staying.
Yeah, I'm staying here. Yeah. So that's my my take on it real quick.
Excellent.
So do you have anything more to add?
I don't.
Oh.
I'm just frothing at the mouth.
for Kratos?
No, just in general.
Okay. We should probably get that looked at. But with that, next time we will undoubtedly have some thoughts about Kratos' latest outing. And
Athena!
We'll hope that you'll join us for that. We are pretty excited about it, even though we don't know anything about it, pretty much. But that's how we like it. So
open world GTA 5 style gameplay confirmed.
Yeah.
Fuck.
With Witcher 3, but then God of War. Yeah. That sounds like a good game. Anyway.
Let loose the witches of war.
Where can people find you?
They can find me at Kumagumapolar.
Well, on Twitter, I take it. Yes. Yeah, you can find me at Tayo Inc. also on Twitter, and you can find us as a collective at Game Honey Game. You can also send us an email. You can send that email to game.honeys with an S at gmail.com. You can follow us on Stitcher, on Libsyn, on all the places that podcasts can usually be found. You can also find us on YouTube, of course, at the Tayo Inc. YouTube channel. So check that out. And I think that's about it. So thank you very much for joining us. We hope to see you again next time when we talk about that lovely dead bod of that Kratos guy. And
that is not a
thank
dad
you
bod.
very much for being my co-host today.
Ah, you're quite welcome.
Oh. And with that, bye-bye.
Bye. Out of sight and out of mind. With your sunbrush skin, where do I begin to describe? They changed to quiet. A pleasant morning breeze, a heart that skips a beat. I know that it's time. Spring comes around again with similar sentiments, dreaming of changes in a similar time. A different face, a mask that's suddenly awake, so it all comes spinning down. Out of sight, through the sand.